when investment was 6,500, another C plus I line for investment falling to 4,500. All right? Let's see how we do this. Two C plus I lines. I'm going to put one up high. Mark it C plus I. And then one that's below that, but parallel. Another C plus I. And the idea is there was a shift in the C plus I line down because investment fell. How did we see investment fall? Well, the old autonomous expenditures were 10,500, right there. Investment fell by how much? By 2,000. So that number 15, autonomous spending, was 8,500. So it's down by what? Down by 2,000. Since these are both C plus I lines, both these points here and here are equilibrium income numbers or solutions. What numbers go there? We work them out in the math. It used to be, originally, total income was 52,500. But then investment fell. Maybe there was a crash in the economy, a crash in the stock market rather, a crash in real estate, whatever, real estate markets. When this falls by 2,000, you can expect negative multiplier effects, right? Creating the recessionary trend and having income fall by much more than 2,000. We calculated 42,500. Yes, the change in income is 10,000. 5 times 2,000. Is that 10,000? It's a negative 10,000. It's a fall in income. The economy's in recession. Agreed? Again, you're not learning anything new from the diagram, I don't think. The links are pretty clear even when you do the math. But it does have a way of highlighting things and it organizes it. And so maybe you see things better. That's the whole point of these graphs. You can see some of the relationships a little more directly. Right? 10,500 times 5 is 52,500. I just can't resist the temptation to draw that. There's times 5. And then there you go. Times 5 there. But this space here, this change in y, it's 10,000 from the 2,000 decline in investment. That's nice. If you can get a nice comparative graph like that, that's tremendous. Now remember, I mentioned this to all my classes. The way I view these problems, this group of 6 questions, I can only do a few things. Either the MPC will go up or down, and we did problems like that in class, or the investment will go up or down. And you get pictures like this, solutions like we just worked out. So that's all I can really do. I mean, you just got to get used to the things that are possible to manipulate in these problems, right? And of course, any increase in the MPC would be positive for the economy. Any increase in investment would be positive for the economy. Whereas decreases in the MPC and decreases in the investment hurt the economy. I mean, I could ask you like bonus questions like, true or false, households can start a recession. How would that be true? If the MPC falls, if households spend at slower rates, we'll have a recession. True or false? Firms can start a recession. Sure they can. If they get pessimistic and cut back investment. then we'll have negative multiplier effects. So Keynes is summarizing what key factors drive the economic outcomes that really primarily influence GDP. All right. And Keynes's point, during recessions like these, the market may not be able to fix itself. It's nice if it could, but maybe it can't. Maybe actually what he wrote about is expectations. The pessimism could be so deep that firms never feel motivated to create net investment or sufficient net investment. So, his conclusion at the end of the general theory was there may be situations where we need to stimulate the economy with government spending. Public investment, he called it. All right, so let's see. I'm reading from number 17. Using the figures from number 15, now introduce government spending of $2,500. All right. We're going to create, or introduce, I should say, we're going to introduce the government in the picture. And this is the crowning conclusion of Keynes's work that departs from classical theory. The government can help. C equals 0.8y plus 4,000. Investment had fallen to 4,500, right? We eventually multiplied 8,500 times 5. But now we're going to pretend, well, what if we had thrown some government spending in there? What if we had had the government build highways or build bridges or build hospitals or something along the lines of public infrastructure, they call it. And what if it goes to the tune of 2,500? Would that be helpful for the economy? Well, if you can sense the math, you know it's going to be helpful. We're introducing spending, and that 2,500, and that's going to have multiplier effects. So we write C plus I plus G equals 0.8y plus 4,000. Well, let's just do the math. 5 and 5 is 0, carry 1. I'm getting 11,000. I sure hope that's right. That's right. Right? Because 7, 4, 7. Right. Now the routine is the same. You got the GDP, C plus I plus G, in an equation. We're going to work out the value. We're treating government spending as another form of autonomous spending, just like the autonomous consumption, just like the investment. Y equals 0.8y plus 11,000. You're allowed to skip some steps because in the very first problem you did everything perfect step by step. No skipping. All right, so 0.2y equals 11,000. And then the all-important multiplier step. You never want to leave that out. It's the multiplier step. It's the whole lesson. Remember, in the test, it is absolutely vital that you show all your work, even when you're skipping steps. You've got to show key lines. You don't want to say, oh, I size this up and I can see already it's 55,000. You just don't want to leave work on your calculator and let me figure it out. You got to present nicely. All right, so 55,000. Well, that's certainly an improvement off of 42,500. Where did the new income come from? The government spending of 2,500 offset the loss of investment of 2,000. So the way I worked out these numbers, it's the new income is even higher than the original 52,500. All right, let's calculate consumption. Find total consumption. And let's see how this would work. C equals 0.8 of 55,000 plus 4,000. Eight fives are 40. So I'm thinking 40,000, 8/10 of 50,000, and 8/10 of 5,000 is 4,000. So I'm thinking 44,000 here. And another 4,000 there from Uncle Harry. And I get a total consumption of 48,000. That seems about right. We'll know it's right after the next step, where we find total what? Total saving. Y minus C equals S. Stay with the same formula. Don't revise anything. Don't say to yourself, oh, government. No, saving is defined as Y minus C, period. 55,000 minus 48,000. I get 7,000. And you get a little worried, a little apprehensive. Oh, I thought that S was going to equal the I. Wait a second. We threw in the government. So you need a different thing here. You need an I plus G equaling an S plus T. That's what you need. Investment, 4,500. Government, 2,500. So all told, that is what? 7,000. So you're going to need 7,000 on the right-hand side. Taxes. Read my lips. No new taxes. Keynes is proposing that the government finance this new highway system, this NASA program, whatever it is, not through taxes, which would take away from consumption and other multiplier effects, but to sell bonds. Read my lips. No new taxes. Taxes is 0, which means the saving had better turn out to be, well, lo and behold, it's equal to what? 7,000. The bonds are a form of saving in the economy. The government sold the bonds. The saving was available to the economy. The government used the money, built some highways, and the U.S. government, we know, will pay back later. They've never missed a payment. So there you go. All right. The government seems to help things. Certainly the way I had arranged the numbers, the economy improved from the 42,500, even better than the original one. I could have used any number. It would have had a multiplier effect. I suppose more realistically, you have some stimulus from the government, right? And the idea is it's going to help the economy recover, not necessarily completely offset the full recession. But anyway, those are details. All this math is right. And now it's time to draw this picture. When we draw the picture, we've gotten that part of the test done. Agreed? So let's draw the picture. Let's see if I can get this nice and big. Because there's going to be a little bit more on this picture than the ones before. Okay, you set it up. 45-degree diagram, bisecting that angle there, all that just best you can. Mine seemed to be a little curvy today, I don't know why. Let's see. We're going to need 3 lines. A consumption line. A C plus I line. That had a little goofy bounce there. Goofy wave. And as best I can, another. Well, that one was nice. The lower line is C. The next line is C plus I. The next line is C plus I plus G. So I need autonomous numbers there. The autonomous consumption was 4,000. Who remembers? The investment that we added and used in number 15 was 4,500. 4,500 was the investment, creating 8,500. That was like the middle problem, the middle math problem that we figured. Then that situation was a recession, so we decided to add government. And government spending was, it was 2,500. Government spending was 2,500. So that's where we got 11,000. So we have autonomous consumption plus investment, and then that autonomous spending plus government spending for the 11,000. That spot there is an equilibrium income. Then the C plus I plus G line also creates an equilibrium income further up. So I need that number, and I need that number. In number 15, we had calculated 42,500. That was a depressed level of income compared to the original 52,500. What's the economy going to do? Keynes isn't going to follow classical theory. He's going to say, he's going to make the radical departure, let's use the government. The government adds 2,500. That has multiplier effects so that the change in income is even more than the 2,500. It's 2,500 times 5. And we got the answer, what was the answer? 55,000, I think? Right. Just double checking there. 55,000. So the change in income is 12,500, which is 5 times 2,500. 5 times 25 is 125. Right? There it is. The government has potentially positive stimulative effects. Classical theory doesn't go for it, but Keynes is trying to demonstrate it can help. Again, please get the lesson in context. Keynes is not saying, let's have the government take over liquor stores in Pennsylvania. That's not his idea. It's a general theory about the general performance of the economy that needs investment spending, needs infrastructure to create, in a sense, the rest of the economy, the other multiplier effects of the economy. Let's see. So, okay, a little bit more to do. You should be able to get that number, which is a total consumption number. You should be able to get that number, which is a saving number. You should be able to work out that consumption. In fact, we did work it out. And then that space there is the total saving in the economy with the government. So let's see. We just did these numbers here. So let's see if we can figure that out. The total consumption had been, for the government equation, total consumption had been 48,000. Yeah, that's right. Because 48,000 plus 7,000 gives us total saving, right, of 7,000. 48,000 plus 7,000 gives us 55,000. Make sense? Likewise, in this earlier problem, we calculated consumption to be 38,000. 38,000. So that goes there. That's the